'tis the evening of the day. That song, As Tears Go By, was recorded by Marianne Faithfull with her beautiful lilting soprano in 1965, and it was the first a lot of people had heard of her. Hi, I'm Billy Hough, and this is Things You Should Know, where Legs McNeil gives me 3 minutes to tell you everything I want you to know about my favorite people. And today we're talking about Marianne Faithfull, who was actually in our thoughts and prayers a lot this week, as she was apparently battling the COVID virus and is now doing better. Anyway, Marianne Faithfull was the great niece of Leopold von Sacher-Masoch, who I mentioned in the last thing because he wrote the book Venus and Furs that the Velvet Underground based their thing on. Her father was a British secret agent. She was discovered as a Catholic schoolgirl as a teenager by Andrew Loog Oldham, who was producing the Rolling Stones, who had just gotten started, right? He called her an angel with big tits. And he took her beautiful soprano voice and he locked Mick and Keith in a room. Mick and Keith and the Beatles came out at the same time. But the Beatles were doing all their own material and the Stones were doing a bunch of cover songs. So the Stones had to write their own song. The first song that they wrote together was As Tears Go By, which he gave to Marianne Faithfull. The Stones would, of course, would do it later. Marianne started dating Mick Jagger. She dated him for 4 years. And in that period of time, she had a lot of adventures. She became kind of this jet setter, you know, in the whole mod scene in London, which was they called the kind of explosion before the huge hippie thing took over. Anyway, Marianne ended up acting. She played Ophelia in Hamlet on stage, which is when she said she started shooting heroin. She used to shoot up before the crazy scene, and this was already filmed. She did a couple of other films. Girl on a Motorcycle, fantastic French film. She's gorgeous in a leather suit, and she's there with Alain Delon, so straight, gay, whatever. You're gonna love the fucking movie. Also, Kenneth Anger's Lucifer Rising. See how all these things fucking connect? Anyway, Marianne ended up having a suicide attempt because she lost custody of her son and broke up with Mick. She went into a coma from overdose of sleeping pills, and when she came out and Mick was sitting by her bedside, she said, "Wild horses couldn't drag me away." She also wrote the song Sister Morphine. She wrote the lyrics to the riff that Mick had been fucking around with, and they did not give her writing credit until many years later. She was living on the streets of London through much of the 70s with drug problems. She was homeless. She had anorexia. She had lots and lots of problems. Finally, she got her shit together and came back in 1979 with Broken English, one of the great, iconic kind of post-punk records of all time. Totally punk rock. The song Why'd You Do It is one of the dirtiest, scariest things, and the ballad of Lucy Jordan, right? The morning sun touched gently on the eyes of Lucy Jordan. She did that. It was written by Shel Silverstein. He recovered from drugs in the mid-1980s and started working with Hal Wilner, who, God bless, just passed. And he produced an album called Strange Weather, title song by Tom Waits. She also had met Hal Wilner by singing the Ballad of the Soldier's Wife, Listen to the Soldier's Wife, by Kurt Weill and Bertolt Brecht. And then she puts this show together where she actually sings a bunch of Kurt Weill and Bertolt Brecht songs called 20th Century Blues. You need to look up Sliding Through Life on Charm. And that's it.